All my life, I wanted to be pretty. I thought it would change everything.
In the near future, when you turn 16, you get a chance for a complete makeover inside and out. Not only can you change your appearance as you like, but you can also live in a dream city that looks like a paradise. The main character, Tally, is 3 months away from turning 16, and she can't wait for that day to come. Since her childhood, she's been living in a boarding school away from her parents, although she has everything she needs here, but she has always been unhappy with her looks. A boy named Paris also thinks he looks ugly, and they soon become inseparable friends. There's a slight difference. Paris, who is 3 months older than Tally, can get the makeover surgery tomorrow. They both look out at the dazzling dream city and promise to be lifelong friends no matter how they change. To reassure Tally, Paris promises to meet her a month later. The next day arrives, and all the students gather in the school's performance center. A giant figure appears on the stage. It's Dr. Cable, the head of the dream city, here to welcome the 16-year-old students. As usual, Dr. Cable tells the story of the Dream City's origin. Hundreds of years ago, due to humanity's over-reliance on fossil fuels, the Earth's environment deteriorated drastically. Scientists created a genetically modified flower called white tiger orchid, which could provide humans with a continuous supply of clean energy. But this didn't solve the world's biggest problem, social inequality. So, the Dream City was born. Here, when residents turn 16, they undergo a makeover to become healthy, happy, and beautiful, perfect humans. With everyone flawless, all inequalities are eliminated. After the speech, Tally and Paris reluctantly say goodbye. As night falls, she looks at the dazzling Dream City from a distance, feeling for the first time that it looks like a cold prison. After a long wait, Tally finally reaches the day she promised to meet Paris. She arrives at their meeting place, but Paris never shows up. Worried that something happened to him, Tally ignores the rules and sneaks to the city's edge. On the bridge, she finds a mask someone has dropped. She picks it up and instinctively puts it on, transforming completely inside and out. With newfound courage, Tally enters the city, which indeed looks like a paradise as described. In the bustling crowd, Tally sees a familiar figure. It's Paris, whose features have been optimized. She eagerly takes off her mask, but his eyes show coldness, and he has forgotten their promise. Suddenly, an alarm goes off. Tally's identity has been discovered. She quickly grabs a bungee vest from a vending machine and jumps off a building just as his security ship approaches. After several bounces, she lands steadily on the ground and escapes the dream city without a breath. But the security ship continues to chase her. Just when she's out of options, a short-haired girl appears, pulling Tally onto her skateboard. With a few beautiful aerial maneuvers, they return to the school dormitory. Hearing that Tally visited the Dream City, the short-haired girl is in awe because it's a forbidden zone at school. After some questioning, Tally learns that the girl's name is Shay, known as a rebellious model student at school. Tally feels that Shay has a unique aura and, under Shay's encouragement, skips class for the first time to play outdoors on a skateboard. When Tally sneaks back to the classroom, Shay slips her a paper book, which is also banned at school. Tally is so nervous that her face turns pale. She only dares to read it back in her dorm, and soon she's deep in thought. Could there be a completely different world outside the Dream City? Shay never answers directly, always pulling her to practice flying on the skateboard. One afternoon, Shay takes her outside the school to a deserted city. Shay leads the way to a tall building and solemnly asks Tally to keep a secret no matter what. She then lights a bonfire with a firestone. Tally is stunned, having read about it in the book, but the biggest shock is yet to come. Shay says that the world described in the book is real. Actually, there's another choice in life, not to undergo the makeover and enjoy true freedom outside. In the Dream City, even if you become beautiful, you must follow strict rules. Shay hopes Tally will join her in the land of freedom. Tally can't accept it right away. She's been taught to praise the Dream City since childhood, and she doesn't want to give up the chance to become beautiful. Shay has to accept reality and gives Tally a secret map before leaving, saying she can come to find her anytime if she changes her mind. Shay then flies away on her skateboard. Tally feels very lost, but soon her 16th birthday arrives, and she finally gets to go to the Dream City. Unexpectedly, while other students go for the makeover surgery, a man in black takes Tally to the city's administrative headquarters. Tally is extremely nervous, fearing punishment for sneaking into the city. Just as she's about to apologize, Dr. Cable brings up something else. She has noticed Shay's odd behavior and believes she was coerced into escaping. If Tally reveals Shay's whereabouts, she can have the surgery immediately. But Tally refuses to betray her friend and doesn't reveal anything, so she's sent back to school. That night, Paris visits her, now warm and friendly, talking about Shay. He says Shay was deceived and is in danger. If Tally considers him a friend, she should help rescue Shay. His words change her mind, and the next day she goes to Dr. Cable again. Dr. Cable pretends to be serious, saying that the Land of Freedom is developing weapons against them, and asks Tally to go undercover to find out its location. She gives Tally a signal-sending necklace. Innocent Tally accepts the task, hoping to rescue Shay. Following the map Shay gave her, Tally reaches the wilderness outside the school, using fire-starting methods taught by Shay for cooking and jumping over obstacles on her skateboard. After days of travel, she finally arrives at the destination. She falls asleep among the endless white tiger orchids, the plant that provides clean energy. Suddenly, smoke wakes her up, and she sees the flowers burning. As she panics, a man named David rescues her, saying he's a guide to the Land of Freedom. He disables the tracker on her skateboard and finds no other anomalies, then takes her to a base where she reunites with Shay. Tally is thrilled, but notices Shay doesn't seem coerced. Despite that, Tally reveals her mission to take Shay back. Shay is disappointed, realizing Tally doesn't truly want to join them. She asks Tally to stay and experience their life, but newcomers must stay at the base for a while. The group plans to destroy the white tiger orchids next. Tally recalls the fire from yesterday, and David admits it was him. He explains that the flowers don't provide energy but deplete the soil's nutrients, turning the land into a wasteland. Shay decides to show Tally the truth. In a helicopter, Tally sees that beyond the orchids is a desert. They must stop the flowers from consuming the forest. Shay uses a flamethrower to destroy the orchids. Suddenly, they see two figures approaching, and Shay is knocked off the helicopter by a rope. Tally jumps down to save her. In the fire, she finds the injured Shay. As two blue uniformed people approach, Shay throws her backpack to block them, allowing Tally to climb up the helicopter rope. Back at the base, David and others wonder why Dream City's patrols came. Tally learns the orchids were cultivated by the Dream City to destroy land, making their city the only livable place. Attacked for no reason, they return to the main base. Tally's bravery in rescuing Shay earns her some respect. The next morning, Tally is taken blindfolded to a waterfall where the Land of Freedom is. They grow their own food, which tastes better than at school. Everyone works, but is always smiling, because they can do whatever they want. Tally starts to doubt the Dream City's promises, but she still struggles with leaving her old beliefs behind and asks David if they're making weapons to destroy the Dream City. David denies it and takes her to a cabin where his parents, former top scientists of the Dream City, live. They discovered that the makeover process harms the brain's cortex, making people less responsive and falsely happy, while the upper management secretly takes antidotes. Discontent, they escaped with the antidote, but couldn't replicate it without the original sample. Tally believes them and angrily throws Dr. Cable's signal transmitter into the fire, not noticing its blue light. The next morning, a fleet arrives at the Land of Freedom. The soldiers, enhanced, quickly capture the residents. David and Tally outside avoid capture and see Dr. Cable ordering the execution of David's father. Tally and David can't hide anymore. As they rush in, they find Paris, now a soldier. His cold eyes made Tally feel very unfamiliar. Dr. Cable, with a smug expression, thanked Tally for providing the location information, which caused an uproar among the residents. Shay was the most furious. Tally turned pale, knowing any explanation would be useless, and ran into the cabin. She quickly lit the fire. Just as she jumped out of the back door, a violent explosion occurred. David seized the opportunity to escape in the chaos. Dr. Cable ordered her men set the place on fire before leaving with all the residents by spaceship. David, who had escaped into a cave, wanted to strangle Lisa, but realized it was too late. She decided to make amends through her actions. The urgent task was to rescue the captured residents. They quietly infiltrated the Dream City school, where many students were fans of David. Tally asked them for a small favor, create as much chaos as possible, which was easy for the energetic students. Taking advantage of the chaos when many spaceships went out, Tally and David sneaked into the city on hoverboards. David knocked out a guard to get access, and finally found the captured residents. Unfortunately, Shay was not among them. She had been taken for modification surgery. Tally, holding on to a last hope, hurried to the operating room but found her friend Shay already modified, constantly flaunting her beauty. Tally and her companions were at a loss for how to deal with the situation. At this moment, Dr. Cable walked in with the guards, forcing the three of them into a glass chamber, preparing to modify them as well. Fortunately, their friends arrived with a flame helicopter. The operating room was instantly engulfed in flames. David's mother took the opportunity to open a freezer and quietly took the original sample. As soon as the group escaped, they ran into Paris. Tally tried to awaken him, but he tried to kill Tally. David stops him, and with Tally's help, they push Paris off a balcony. They escape the Dream City, and once safe, David's mother reveals they have the original sample and can create the antidote to brain damage, but they need someone to test it. Feeling guilty, Tally volunteers. She tells David that she will leave a clue for him to recognize her when she gets modified, and in the next moment, she wakes up in her dome completely modified, determined to change the fate of others. If you made it this far, consider subscribing because we upload thrice a week.